The Tigers have a big problem, and it's not just Benji Marshall, it's not just Galvin leaving, it's just a problem that's lasted out for ages. And that problem is trying to keep young talent. Over the years, the Tigers have had so many great young talents, and they've all wanted to build the future with these players just for them to leave. In this video, I'll be talking about why these players ended up leaving the Tigers, and I'll also be going through at the end why I think that the Tigers are having this problem. So let's get straight into this. I've got a list of 5 players here. We're kicking off with James Tedesco. He left for the Sydney Roosters in 2018. Why he left was frustration with the club's instability, multiple coaching changes and a lack of success. He decided to join a premiership contending team. Roosters offered a stronger development environment, leadership under Trent Robinson, and a chance to win titles, which he did. I think they won it in 2018 or something. So it was like the best change he could have done for him. Tedesco reportedly lost faith in the Tigers' long-term plan despite being offered captaincy and a large contract. See, like a lot of these players, even up to Galvin today, or not today, like a few days ago, big contracts and captaincy, stuff to lead this team just for him to leave. Number 2, Mitchell Moses. I've gone through a lot about Mitchell Moses if he stayed at the Tigers, but try to keep this a little short. Midway through the 2017 season, he left to join the Parramatta Eels. He felt the Tigers didn't value him highly enough. He was one of the last of the big 4, Tedesco, Woods, Brooks and Moses, to be offered a contract extension. He wanted a fresh start with a more stable coaching and systems. Moses requested an early release after signing with Parramatta, citing a breakdown in trust with management and desire to compete in finals football. That's something I think a lot of things will be similar for these players. He's getting these contracts, but they don't want to play because they're not going to get finals, and the club itself of coaching and leadership is unstable. Number 3, Josh Adokar, another current player who plays for the Eagles. He left for the Melbourne Storm in 2016, and a few of the reasons why he left was the lack of opportunity at the Tigers. Played only a handful of first grade games, Melbourne Storm offered him better pathways and development. Adokar wanted to be coached under Craig Bellamy and believed he'd go faster there, which proved to be very true. The Tigers were hesitant to offer him a significant long-term deal at the time. So they're like, do we? And Addo was like, okay, I don't care. If you're not going to do this, you don't clearly think you value me enough, I'll go over to the Storm where I want to play. And he made that right call, and that's really set him up for what a great career he's had so far. Currently now at the Parramatta Eels, he's been at the Bulldogs, Storm. So he's had a pretty good career, but all these guys have had good careers after leaving the Tigers. Number 4, Ryan Papenhuyzen. Currently plays for the Storm, and wow, he's one of my, I've never actually said this, but he's one of my favourite players in the league. He's really talented, he's really good. He left to the Melbourne Storm, signed a development deal, and debuted in 2019. He was overlooked by the Tigers in junior systems. They prioritised other fullbacks like Tedesco, Moses, Sully, which obviously probably didn't work out the best for them. He joined Melbourne for the better opportunity and mentorship under Billy Slater and Craig Bellamy. The Tigers reportedly didn't have the size or polish to be the first grade star at the time. Now the Tigers go on, especially Benji Marshall, no hate to him. I think I remember watching him more in his older days of his career, like with the Rabbitohs and stuff. But obviously good player, I like him and all. But as a coach, he goes out and he does say stuff about how he believes in the talent that the junior systems have, and he says he's able to spot it out, that type of thing. But clearly it's been a problem with the Tigers before. Obviously he wasn't there back in 2019 or wherever this was, but they should have realised Papenhuyzen is one of the best players in the league right now, and they were like, okay, he's not ready, he's not good enough. So that's why he went off to the Storm. Now to a more quick one, which is Locky Galvin. Now this is a more quick one. I don't want to go fully over it because I've talked about it multiple times. Everyone's talked about it multiple times, and I think people are getting kind of sick of it. That's what Benji Marshall said. People are getting sick of talking about it. But he recently, a few days ago, I think it was like today or yesterday, he signed officially with the Bulldogs, and he was at the training staff and all. I think, like these players mentioned before, he will go up to have a great career after leaving the Tigers, and I believe that. I think he probably could win a premiership under the Bulldogs as well, so we'll just have to wait and see more on that one. But let's go on to part 2 of the video. Now we're going to talk about more, instead of talking about individual players, we're going to talk about like the entire team, like the entire coaching staff and everything in general, and why these players do not want to keep playing with the Tigers. Leadership instability. Frequent changes in CEOs and coaches and board members have created a revolving door at the top. Players want to know there's a long-term plan. When coaches and club directions change every 2 years, it sends a message that the club lacks vision or consistency. Even though with all the players I mentioned before, except Pappenhausen, they have said they want them to lead the way for the future, show them the right direction. But clearly these players did not want to be a part of this Tigers going in the right direction, which they're not really right now. For example, between 2012 and 2025, the Tigers had 9 different head coaches, including interims. That's almost a new coach every 1.5 years. Every 1.5 years for a new coach is ridiculous. And it's not something a player necessarily finds good that they're interested in signing for them. Poor development to retention pipeline. The Tigers are great at identifying or developing young talent. Tedesco, Moses, Adokar, etc., except for Pappenhausen because they didn't believe in them, but except for that, they're normally quite good with this. But they've consistently failed to build out systems around them and retain these players, either undervaluing the player early like Pappenhausen and Adokar, or making contract offers too late, like Moses, or the player sees the club doesn't function and chooses stability elsewhere, like Tedesco. Number 3, financial mismanagement. The club is overspent and underperforming signings. Josh Reynolds, Russell Parker, Moses Mumbai, okay, while struggling to keep their best juniors. Sometimes they couldn't match rival offers because they had cap space tied up in the wrong players. Number 4, coaching and culture disconnection. Players often develop better elsewhere because clubs like Melbourne and Roosters have elite coaching systems. Many former Tigers, Adokar, Pappenhausen, Corey thrived after leaving under top-tier coaches like Craig Bellamy. Internally, the Tigers lacked that level of coaching, continuity and innovation for the years. Well, it's what's going to happen like the average is every 1.5 years they change coach. And then number 5, which might be one of the main reasons, is the lack of a winning environment. Let's face it, the Tigers haven't made the 8 since 2011. Players want to play finals football. They look at the Tigers as a rebuilding team year after year after year. Promising stars don't want to spend the best years of their career in a circle of next year will be better. In a summary, the Tigers have tried to build around talent, but without stable leadership, smart retention and elite development systems, players lose faith. The top tier clubs, Roosters, Storm, Panthers, don't just offer money, they offer structure, success and trust. And that is it. More of a long one, but thank you all so much for watching. This is why one of the biggest problems at the Tigers. I don't really know right now who can be that leader for the Tigers for the next few years. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.